Day 7 deep dive. We are going to talk about magnetism. This is a magnet. You guys probably have seen this type of magnet, right? So, we are going to talk about magnetism. Magnet has a feature that it attracts, right? So, you want to get in the attraction mode, not in a chasing mode. And it does not apply only for dating, it is for everything. Anything that you want to manifest in life from point A to point B, no matter how much you chase from here, it goes further. When you become the person in B, you start attracting everything because all of this already exists in here. So what we are trying to do in this 30 days challenge is go from point A to point B. If you follow all of those steps, and everything follows a simple formula. 3 steps: thinking, speaking, and action. Speaking is the most important part. So, when it comes to thinking, think of this part. In your career, no matter whatever field you work in, you get to see more of this in corporate world. I was in corporate for 21 years before I started going all in into this. You get to see people. Actually, it doesn't even have to be in person. You have seen on TV too. When somebody walks in, even before they say a word, you see the magnetism, you feel it. How do you feel it? So as far as communication rule goes, there are 3 rules: 7% words, 38% tone, 55% is body language. 7, 38, 55. 55% is body language. So when you walk into a room, people can, just from your gestures, body language, all of that, gesture is part of body language. People can realize how confident you are, and that is where the magnetism lies. So words and tones are important. That gets added to it, but how you carry yourself when you walk into the room, that is what creates the magnetism. So when you go out on a date, it is important to remember that some people start thinking about it, especially after many years of not being into the dating world. When you're going there for the first time, you start thinking like an interview. Somebody actually told me that. And if you think like that, you're in the chasing mode. You want to start changing your mind from that perspective that you are just living your life, you are confident, and I'll tell you the exact action steps. So by this thinking, speaking, action, all of this goes in a circle or triangle you can think of. So as you start thinking a little bit like that I am going to be a confident person, and that is not going to help you only with dating, it's going to help you in all areas of your life, even in your career, right? So I have a specific action steps for you. Just start thinking that in that direction, that I want to be confident with who I am. Doesn't matter how your looks are, your I don't know, like your appearance, your weight, or none of that matters. None of that matters. Literally, how you project yourself is what is all confidence. And you may have heard the word charisma. Charisma is also a version of confidence. When the person is so confident about themselves and they're fearless, it shows in their body language, their tone, how they speak, and how they, the words that they use. I mean, it doesn't have to be even right English. So like for me, English is my second language. And you guys know, here and there I make some mistakes. There's some grammatical mistakes, I think. But ultimately, what's important is getting the message out. So that's where, the charisma and confidence, all of that comes into picture. So start thinking about that. I'm a confident person. Now it comes to the speaking. So when you speak to your, again, friends, family, coworker, when it comes to speaking, the simplest way to do it, the people you're already interacting with, start speaking those languages. Every word that we speak is an affirmation. Every word that we speak is an affirmation. So you don't have to write down a long list of affirmation. Just talk as if you are affirming whatever you want, not from the chasing side, from the attracting side. So think of it this way. If you, let me pick something from here. So this is my daughter's play stuff. So I'm gonna pick some here. So this is one of her play plate. I don't know, this is probably some tea set from there. I don't know, she plays with it. Anyway, so the point is, if you have this plate, this is, let's say this is, I don't know, made of diamond or whatever, so expensive plate, and this is what you want when you're in point B. And you are here, and if you want it, you can't get it, but you have to believe that you already have it. So what that means, then your want kind of goes away. You're like, oh yeah, I'm so happy that I have that. You're almost like grateful that you have this plate, right? So that is the mode you have to get into, where you are not asking for it. You are grateful that you have it. So one of Joe Dispenza's video I heard, and it was like so amazing, this concept he explained, that when you sit down and pray, you not only ask for, like, normally people would ask for like what they want, but when you get out from that prayer, you believe that you already received it, right? And that is when manifestation becomes faster, because your belief is so strong. You're like, oh, I asked for it and I'm going to receive it. And if you have ever heard of Abraham Hicks, they also talk about the manifestation as a 3-step technique. You ask the universe, God, whatever you believe in. Number 2, you believe. You don't micromanage the universe. And number 3, you receive. The most of the delay happens in number 2, because we ask and we don't fully believe it, and we are ready to receive that perfect partner. But if we are not believing, we are pushing the universe, we are telling the universe this, that, all of that. That means we are not believing in the capability of the universe. So anyway, going back to the speaking, just start speaking those, affirmation that you're grateful that you're going to have that right person in your life, and then you're grateful for that. And you don't probably want to go say to everybody. Some people might not get it, because the way your communication is with them, meaning if they're not as close friends, they're just acquaintance, so you don't want to go say to everybody. You may have some friends, good friends, who will understand it. Kind of make it a practice to say the affirmations of the thinking where it is aligning. It is all about, because the reason things don't manifest is we are thinking one thing, because we are thinking in negative most of the time. We are doing the affirmations in positive, and the actions are mixed, right? The actions are, some are positive, some are negative, and that's why we don't manifest. When all of these 3 aligns, that is when we start manifesting the fastest way possible. So did the thinking, you talked about being confident, and now the number 3 is the action. This is very simple, but it works, guys. This is very simple. It works. Trust me, I have been doing this for years, and it is amazing, amazing. Okay. So the simple steps to feel confident is to, your posture. Like imagine when you walk into a room, when you saw that somebody looked like they're so confident, and when they were speaking, they were so confident, and you just felt the magnetism. Do you think their body was like slouching like that and they were talking like that? I don't think so. And if they did that, you wouldn't think that they're confident. They were talking like that. Their shoulders were like, they held it back, and then they were confident, they were projecting, and that is what I'm talking about. So one of the simple trick I learned of a long time ago, and I can't remember where I learned it from, because I do so many different kind of studies, starting from TED Talk to hundreds of books and online. I have no idea. Otherwise, I would give the credit, but it is not my own. So I have to say that simple way I learn is to hold our shoulders back. Is imagine when you are standing against a wall, and like an imaginary wall, and your shoulders are touching the wall, right? So when you're walking into a room, I don't want you guys to be very stiff, but the point is, when we're walking into a room, or you're sitting or you're standing, just imagine there's a wall behind you and your shoulders are touching it. So what that does is, and you won't remember all the time, I also don't remember all the time, but when I'm walking into a stage, like when I had a Toastmasters contest, it was last weekend, yeah, and I participated in 2 different contests. And I remembered when I was walking into the stage, because that's like the right moment you want to remember. And I held my shoulders back, and it became a habit for me because I've been doing that for years. That, if I was walking like that, the audience will have a totally different perspective than when your shoulders are back. And there are many other ways, to increase confidence. The whole point is, that you can do gestures, different kind of gestures, also the way you would talk. But this video is not necessarily all about confidence for your work and everything. But the point is, if you're interested, let me know. I'll cover more specific different episode related to that. But here, the main part is when you want to attract somebody, it's just a few little things, because you're not going for an interview, you are going to connect with somebody. Another interesting thing is the eye contact. So when you go out on a date with somebody, as you're thinking about, like, your posture, your shoulders, and you are also making the eye contact when you're talking to them. So say the person is sitting across you on a table, either at a restaurant or a coffee shop, whatever your first date, second date looks like, and you are talking to them, but you're looking somewhere else. Right away, the person is going to lose interest, right? Also, some things you guys absolutely know, like, if you're checking on phone, guess what? The person is like, bye. So some of these are very self-explanatory, but when it comes to action, gesture, remember some gesture and the eye contact, these are like a really, really key that will make the other person. And some of the basic things you guys know, when somebody is there and you are listening to them, if you're interested about something, you lean in. Those are like very basic, right? Everybody talks about it, so that's why I'm not really mentioning like the very basic ones. But if you don't know or haven't heard of, like, if you're interested in the person, you lean in, and you will notice that next time when you're talking to somebody, actually notice that it happens automatically. That's a normal human thing. And that's how the other person also understands. Even though they don't know the rules, we kind of learn about them, that, oh yeah, that person is looking interested because there's some topic they're talking about. Let's say they're talking about camping, and you like camping, and they're sharing some camping experience they had 2 years ago with a friend or something, and you would kind of lean in. So notice all of that. If you're going out on a date, or like, note these things down for later. And then you will see what will start happening is you will become the magnet, and you're going to start attracting. Because in point B, you want to become a magnet. In point A, there are still things that you want. Otherwise, you have the divorce or a breakup from long-term relationship, which is what we cover in this channel. And especially we talk about, in this series especially, we are talking about how to become irresistible. And the point is not just becoming irresistible, but live an irresistible life, because you want to live a happy life. That's what counts, right? It's not that life will never be hard. Hard things will happen, but how long do you live there is like the interesting, not the interesting, what's the right word? How long you live there in the sad place versus the happy place is what really makes a difference in life. Especially if you are in your midlife already, life is short. You want to live here in a happy zone most of the time, not here. And once you figure out a formula, so I'll give you guys a real life scenario. So last night there was something that happened that made me sad. And I am not a robot. I am not like 100% of the time happy, but I figured out a way. I have some specific formula, and that's some of the things I'm trying to teach you guys through this, that how to live a happier life despite all the things that goes on around our world. So when that happened, and I think it's been a long time, I don't know, in months, where I was like, my kind of sadness continued for that long. And I'll tell you that long, meaning from last night to this morning, I would say closer to about noon. But then what I did is I knew the formulas that I create in this thinking, speaking, action. And my action step is, first thing is I have to start speaking in positive and something that normally I know that my thinking is going in the negative direction, then I have to start changing, even if it's a little bit something positive. And the action is I start listening to the good things. And I also did a meditation. These are all my formulas that work, I know, every single time. And from there, it was like I felt total, and then I took a shower, and then I felt like a totally different person. Because what I know is that, they tell you that you are the author of your life. You are the author of your life every single day. Every single day you can write a new story. And what's interesting was yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. So my daughter and I, we dropped by at a dollar store after eating some ice cream. It's like right next door. Um, and then I bought 2 cups. One was about coffee time. It's written, and there's like a coffee art or something on that. I will show you guys another time. If you guys are coming here for a while, I buy those coffee mugs from a dollar store. They have nice inspirational message. Another one had something written, today will be as good as you make of it, or something like that. Basically, today will be as good as you make of it. So it's totally up to us how we want to write the page. Think of it like if you have a big book, the book is your life, and the chapters are like, I don't know, like the years, and the pages are like as if it's the day, right? So the day, many days make a year, and many years make the life. I don't know, I just came up with it. But anyway, the point is, every page you can write. So if you're in a sad zone, you'll be writing a sad story, and then people are going to feel it. Your confidence is not going to project. When you walk into a room, your shoulders will be, down here, and people will know that you are not, feeling happy, because here versus here, you will fall back in here depending on something happening in your life. But once you have the formula, you start changing the thinking, speaking, action. Every time you'll be able to get there fast. So that's what you want to do. When you're here, you'll be in attraction mode, and then you are going to attract the right person. So far it's been 7 days. How is it going? Let me know in the comment. And I know some of you guys are watching it and maybe following it somewhat, but please let me know in the comment, because only then it makes it more powerful, because then you are really engaging it. Commitment makes it much better and much faster. So if you are committing to it, if you're writing down even like a small word that I did it or something like that, I feel more confident. Even if you write that thing down, it becomes more powerful. So do it. I'm going to see you tomorrow, and tomorrow is a surprise. I'm not going to share what it is. So 12 p.m. find out what it is, and then 7 p.m. you're going to see the video. Take care, have fun with all this. The most important thing is have fun as you go and apply it. Share it with your friends and family, coworker, and just have fun. Life is there for you to have fun, not be in the sad zone, be in a happy zone. Bye.